I didn't want to go back. I do not want to make a show having man running around, killing people, never going to jail, and there's no consequences. Bro, I'm waking up at 7. If I wake up, I'm drinking. Like, there's been times man's been broke, bro. You know what I'm saying? When man's been down and like, oh, this is mad. Don't try to do this. Don't try to do. You're gonna have man coming up to my yard.
Yeah, I don't care about the tangible things.
Actually, he drapes me up. He must have pushed me up against the wall and that started dragging me up.
That must have been personal.
It might have been. But I've stopped being your journalistic thing and just get to what you want to say.
This is the role I'm being paid to. Like, what was Sully ever shotting for? He wants to live on a boat. Where's the yard?
Idiot. You're a fool. I don't need no Ozempic, fam.
Southeast separation confirmed. Coming up on staging, the burnout of these twin solid rocket boosters at 2 minutes 5 seconds.
I can tell about my life, I got scars for the proof. Know my bars are the truth, 9 stars in the roof. Plus I'm rolling with another star. If you ever saw the service in a double R, I could've bought another car. Reasoning with Lizzie, yeah, I talk to my money. I'll be running to the bands, they just walk to the money. You can't talk to me funny. Never. She gave me brains in the roller, that's what I call thoughts in a Culli. Hey, okay.
Ashley!
Yes, sir.
My goat! Ain't no traffic wardens over here, just me.
Is that where you're taking it, yeah? Already?
You've been extremely blessed because you've been able to be successful in so many different fields. Like, in terms of, there was one time where Asher D was the biggest MC in the country. You know, there's been times, we might even be in that time right now, where Ashley Walters is the biggest black actor in the UK. The only thing you haven't done is like, maybe like save a kid from crossing the street or something that needed help.
I've done that.
Like, you've done that. See what I'm saying? I believe that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you've been so blessed to be able to achieve these things and have these successes. And where do you think that comes from? Like that talent, that being able to do that, like what kind of shape that?
Like, not to get so deep and spiritual about it, but it's not my plan, bro. It's God's plan, bro. You know what I mean? There's been bare times, like, people don't see the times when you're like, it's done. I don't know what's coming next, or like, there's been times man's been broke, bro. You know what I'm saying? Reality is like, you know what I'm saying? When man's been down and like, oh, this is mad. How am I gonna do this? How am I gonna do that? And you know what? The minute I let go and I just go, you know what? It's your time, big man. Just do what you're doing. It comes. So I just think God don't play about me. He just don't play about certain people. If you give the love comes back. Do you know what I mean? If you're always respectful, I'm not a man that will cheat people out of anything or put myself before people just because I want to be first or whatever. Do you know what I mean? I'm just open to collaborating. I'm open to sharing. I'm open to being nice to the guy that's doing the sound or changing the bins, you know, up to the execs. They all get treated the same way in my life.
You're even nice to me sometimes, you know what I'm saying?
But sometimes. No, but you're nice to me.
Yeah, no,
you know
I
what I mean?
respect you a lot,
you're
bro.
always supporting my thing, and I love that, bro.
I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. Like, I remember first year of college, like, you was my favorite rapper. You get what I'm saying? It was you and Kalashnikov.
Yeah,
Do you know what I'm saying?
Boy.
Something about you I always took to, like, just the way you came across on screen, like, the swag, the aura. Yeah. And you was like a proper rude boy as well, but we'll get into all that. You touched on the broke days. Like, there's been times you've been broke. Obviously, I've been running my own business for 16 years. You've been running yours for 25 plus. There's never a time or in any journey where it's just highs. Like, I've been broke several times as well. And what I do is I resort to going to Tesco and weighing steaks as carrots, and it's a long story, but it's not my interview. It's not my interview. But anyway, but what I want to talk about is, see, when I was a kid, and I was seeing you guys on TV, and I'm seeing videos like Why Me, and I'm seeing They Don't Know, and I'm seeing you in the back of the truck with the woolly hat on, and I'm seeing you talking about the Cartier baguettes and all these things that you're talking about, like, how wealthier were you at that time compared to us?
So my first deal was like I think it was about 365
Wow.
or something like that. My
That's-
first album deal, 365 grand. But listen, I think the artists now make a lot more money than we was making back then, but maybe not from the deals. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, maybe not from the deals.
From the shows, from the, you know what I mean, the other stuff around the music. But for us, or for me, let me talk for myself personally, because I know some of the other guys will be watching this, their journey might have been different. But I had no financial literacy, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? So money that I should have been doing things with, like investing in a house, or, do you know what I mean? Or even buying rollies, or I never bought no jewelry throughout that time.
What did
know
you
I'm
buy?
saying? Bro, if I'm honest with you, I don't know what I spent my money on. Do you know what I mean? To be fair, I don't know. I weren't doing anything smart with it.
You never bought a house at the time?
No. You know, you're supporting family. You're just doing different things. You know what I'm saying? Well, that's where the money's going, and there's a lot of people trying to hold on to you for support and stuff like that. And I'm one of those guys, like, I'm always willing to help. You know what I mean? I'm always, like, I never wanted anything just for me in that sense. I've never had a selfish bone in my body. Sometimes to my own detriment, to be fair. But, so yeah, that was like, it was a messy time. It was a messy time for me. I think there was a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, whether it be publishing, whether it be management and stuff like that wasn't right. You know what I mean? Wasn't kosher. But to be fair, I never blame anyone else. I blame myself, because at that age, 16, 17, 18, someone's putting money in your face that you've never seen before. I was signing deals that I just really didn't have a clue what they were about. And my parents didn't have that literacy when it come to legals. Do you know what I mean? All of that stuff. You know, to be fair, my mum didn't even want me to do music. She just saw it as bad. You know what I mean? That it was going to take me down the wrong path. So I did all of that stuff by myself. Walking into meetings by myself, with the labels by myself. I had no one supporting me in that sense. So I made mistakes.
Yeah.
That you know, I was paying for up until maybe 5-6 years ago, really.
What, you made financial mistakes then that you was still
Financial
paying for?
mistakes, you know, borrowing money because people told me, do this, do that, whatever, you know, and signing deals, whether it be publishing, whether it be the actual album deals that I signed back then, that were not good for me. You know what I mean? That like in hindsight, knowing what I know now, I would never have signed, and I had to pay the price for that. So as much as some other people I feel like took advantage of me, it was my decision to make, and I have to chalk it up to the game. It's like, all right, cool, I've learned that lesson now. And like, I had to go through a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? I had to go through a lot of stuff. Like, there was a lot of lows after that whole music moment where I was just like, you know what, forget music. Like, the negativity that came with it for me wasn't enough to keep me in it, and the money I was making weren't enough to keep me in it. So I was just like, I'm gonna back out of this, you know what I mean? So I was quite depressed, to be fair, for a long period of time. And that's kind of God's plan, really. I feel like Daniel Kaluuya said something to me one time. He said, you see, when you don't want to do something that God wants you to do, a lot of the times he'll just take everything away from you. So you have to start again. Do you know what I mean? He will do for you what you cannot do for yourself. And I think that's what happened to me. And it's happened to me a few times where I've been in the wrong place or around the wrong people, and he will just take them away. You know, one night they're there, you wake up the next morning, gone. You know what I mean, I'm not going to go into details about that, but I'm sure people won't like know certain things I'm talking about. But yeah, like, that's happened to me a lot of times, and obviously at the time you feel like, why is this happening? Like, why is people doing this? But actually it's a reset. You know, it's like scorch the earth, and then you start building again with the knowledge that you've learned from the mistakes. Losing is fine. You know what I'm saying? In business, you understand that. Like, you got to lose. Like, a businessman that has never lost is going to have a hard time, because he's never going to know how to navigate hard times. You know what I'm saying? Where I am now is just a beautiful space, because, to be fair, I don't really care about the stuff I cared about before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The tangible things and Do you know what I mean? The toys and like all the, you know, the hype that goes around. You know, I'm never outside, bro, really. Like, unless I'm working, I'm never outside, bro. Like, I moved out of London, I moved to the coast, I put my family up there, and like I just do my own thing in my own little bubble.
The house by the lake? The house with the lake.
No, I ain't got no lake.
You got a lake, bro. You got a fishing pond and all that. I know you had a lake.
I got a pond.
Yeah, you got a lake.
It's a biggish pond, but
yeah. No, come on, man. I stay in tune.
Don't try to do this. Don't try to do. You're gonna have man coming up to my yard.
Yeah, I don't care about the tangible things. You got Louis head to toe. Yeah, cuz.
Bro, this is just a costume. I put this on for you and the people. Them, you get me?
I appreciate.
Ask anyone that sees me walking down the beach in Herne Bay what I'm wearing on a daily basis is, do you know what I mean, gym wear usually, or nondescript tracksuit or whatever.
So Solid were very groundbreaking in terms of being really the first cool black people you saw on TV, like in my generation anyway, doing it how we've never seen it been done before. Now, you know, there's a lot of jealousy, there's a lot of envy, there's a lot of, you know, people that think they can do what you're doing. Like, what was the pressure like for a young Asher D in terms of like, from the streets, the roles, like what people wanted, entitlement?
It was pressure. I mean, there's still pressure now, but I handle it in a different way now. But back then, there was a lot of pressure. Yeah, there was a lot of people around me that was like up and coming artists that were like, come on this track. And I mean, sometimes they weren't asking. They was telling me. You know what I'm saying? As a team, we had to deal with that, man. There was a few people that I got into those things with. I speak to them now. You know what I mean? Like,
in this day, you still speak to those people that were basically trying to extort you.
Not extort, man, but there was pressure. There was pressure. I had a lot of pressure when I was growing up, like, and especially around Brixton when Soul Solid hit. The difference was, I guess, when I joined Soul Solid, a lot of the men in that crew were already known on the street for street shit. Do you know what I'm saying? I went outside like that. So it's kind of, you're guilty by association. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So some of those people were not liked by others.
Yeah.
But obviously I'm rolling with them, so I'm part of that set now. So there was a lot of defending myself that I had to do. Obviously, I mean, we all know the story, what happened and the straps and this and that or whatever. But, you know, for me, it was the first time dealing with that level of pressure.
But that's what I'm saying. That's like, obviously I'm not trying to promote like guns or anything. Yeah, but like definitely not. No one buy a gun. Leave guns alone.
Yeah, definitely.
But bro, like, you just ticked every box, man. You ticked every box, bro. Yo, they're sleeping on you, bro. They are sleeping.
Well, let them sleep, man. Let them sleep and all that. Because you know what? Like, now I look at it, at my age, where I am now, I made some big mistakes back then, bro. So I'd probably be a lot further than I am. But to be fair, saying that, and I always say this to people, don't regret any of the bad shit that happens in your life, because it's gonna, you know, as long as you can come through it, it's gonna shape you and make you the person that you are today. And I had to learn lessons, but it was tough, bro. It was tough back then dealing with that and certain people. I remember I was saying before, like, you know, I had like madness with Biker and, you know, Chagon and PDC and Jar Jar and, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. Like, it was hard for me around them times. Those are all good people that I talk to now, though. You know what I'm saying? Because all of us have reformed and changed as we've grown and that. But, you know, back then it was tough, man. And navigating those things was difficult for someone like me that was like, I was around it, but I weren't in it growing up. Do you know what I mean? It weren't really what I did. I was a single, you know, I come from I was like an only child. Coming from a home, you know, I had brothers, but on my dad's side that I never really grew up with. So I was my mum's only child, and like navigating all of that stuff was tough. But yeah, I had to learn quick, you know, and I got mad love and respect for all the people that can come from them times and go through that stuff and then come through it and be doing so well now with a different sort of mindset. I respect that a lot.
People don't understand, what it takes to be that successful for that long and not have a beer belly. You don't even have a beer belly, bro.
I've had a beer belly.
Yeah, you had.
Yeah.
You had, bro.
Yeah.
But you're in better shape now than most people in their 30s and in their 20s. You know, like, you might even have some fat haters. And there's nothing wrong with being fat. But I'm just saying, this man is working. No, bro. You gotta deep it, bro.
Yeah, I know. I did, bro. I know.
Like, you're not even going to the gym and you're hating on homeboy, and he's doing all this because they don't understand how much you're doing in a day.
They don't.
They don't understand that you're eating once a day at 4 o'clock.
They don't get it, bro.
Do you get what I'm saying?
A lot of people don't get it, bro. This is why I'm always telling my team, like, especially when it comes to PR and stuff like that, like, it's not always about looking clean. Like, sometimes we've got to help people to deep the work that's going into it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, they see, I know that you know, like, the work that it's taken for you to build this business and all the other brands that you've helped to build and you built. It's no mean feat, bro. It's not like, you know, sometimes man's not sleeping, bro. Man's not eating because I don't even have time to think about food. It's like it gets to 4 o'clock and I'm like, oh, I should eat. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I've been up from 5.
Yeah, that's that Ozempic. The Ozempic will do that to you.
You idiot. You're a fool. I don't need no Ozempic, fam. What's the narrative now? You know what I mean? As Posty says.
Nah, we see you on the treadmill, bro.
I'm there, bro. That's what I have to show, man.
Yeah.
I don't even have time to think right now. Do you know what I mean? That's how the days get. The days get so packed, bro, and everyone wants a piece of you, especially right now. Like, you got, not trying to plug it, but I got Adolescence. It's the #1 show right now on Netflix globally, like
100.
And the phone don't stop ringing when you're in those moments, bro, because everyone wants a piece of you, you know. And you're trying to navigate that and make sure you're doing the right things, putting yourself in the right spaces.
I've even experienced that this morning, like your level of like stardom, should I say, like people stopping you this morning. It's not even 7 a.m. yet. It's not even 7 a.m. yet.
Yeah.
I mean, it's incredible to see, man.
It gets like that, bro. It proper gets like that, man. Like,
you've openly come out and said, I was an alcoholic.
yeah, 100%.
That's a big statement. Do you actually believe you were an alcoholic?
Oh, yeah.
Or do you feel like you were drinking too much?
Yeah, alcoholism is not about the drink. Addiction is not about the drug or the thing that you choose to be addicted to. It's about you. It's about what's happening in you and what was happening in you from the beginning. You know, when I grew up, when I was in So Solid, all of that stuff, a teenager, I always felt that everyone else got the manual but me, right? So I'd be out in spaces and I'm like, how comes everyone can talk to each other and have conversations happily and laugh and joke and whatever, and I can't? Like, why do I always felt like, I'm different to everyone else here. And that's what made me start to self-medicate, because when I started drinking, I became the life of the party. You know what I'm saying? I could talk to any girl, talk to anyone, you know what I'm saying? Like, the worst parts of me and the best parts of me, I was able to show people. And that's the issue. That's why I'm saying, like, that's alcoholism. You know what I'm saying? It's about a mindset. It's about feeling like you're different to everyone else. And what you choose anything to change the way you feel. Do you know what I mean? I didn't like the way I felt about me. That was the issue. So that's why I say I know I was alcoholic, because I was never drinking for fun. I was drinking to be someone else. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, because I was thinking, like, the 3 times I've seen you out in these last 15 years, you wasn't even waved. Well, you didn't come across waved.
Nah, but yeah.
Every time I've seen you, you've still been my hero. I ain't seen you like fall over. You know what I'm saying? Like, you've always kept it cool. All right, cool. So then, how often at your worst of that period of your life, how often would you say you were drinking?
I was drinking from morning to night.
Okay, yeah, you were alcoholic.
yeah. That's it. Yeah. Bro, I'm waking up at 7. If I wake up, I'm drinking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because I recall when you came to the gala actually that we held in Kensington Palace. Obviously, it's a big deal for me to organise and put together. So I always want the people that I've invited to have the best time. And obviously, I got all this Armand de Brignac, and I'm like, man. Yeah, I've been waiting for this all my life. I'm about to give Asher D the big thing. The big thing's 3 litres, by the way. 3 litres. Yeah, anyway, Rose. But anyway, so I'm ready like, yo, it's my big moment, man. He's going to remember me. No, I don't drink anymore. I'm like, bro, how are you going to make this about you, Ashley? Nah, so, all right. Yeah. So every day, that's crazy. So you've been, what, is it about 5 years sober now?
Well, it'll be 5 years in November. 5 years completely sober, man.
And what was your drink of choice at the time?
Bro, I'd drink anything.
Okay.
Whatever it was, bruv. Mouthwash has got alcohol in it. I'd drink that if I needed to. It doesn't matter.
So when you were working at the time, were you drunk as well?
There's a lot of times you guys would have seen me on
Top Boy waved.
Top Boy, I would have been waved. You know what I mean? Or I would have come in very, very hungover. You know what I mean? From the night before. You know, it was tough, but that was one thing. I was a functioning alcoholic.
Do you think your colleagues could tell that you had an alcohol problem?
Some of them.
Do you think Kano could tell you had an alcohol problem?
Yeah, I think so. You know, we discussed it. Like when the time came that I had to get the help that I needed. It was whilst we were filming, actually.
Yeah.
And I just had to say to producers and to everyone, like, I need to go away. You know what I mean? I didn't say what for. I just said, I need to go away, man. And I went away for about 4 or 5 weeks and just cleansed myself, bro. You know
How difficult was it to do that?
Oh, brother, it was tough. I needed help. Like, no, don't get me wrong. You know, I had people helping me. I paid big money for some really special people to come into my life and teach me how to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And those were people that had done it themselves. Do you know what I mean? So filming stopped for like 3-4 weeks. Well, I remember the day I came back, I was in a cab. I was going for a costume fitting or something like that. And Kane was just coming to the costume fitting as I was leaving. So he was getting out his cab as I was getting in mine. And, you know, we dapped and hugged and whatever. And he was like, where you been? I was like, you know, I just had to go. And he just said it. He was like, the drinking thing, innit? And I was like, you little fucker. He's an intelligent guy, you know, Kane, innit?
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, I knew still. But then there were some people in my life, like, I called my agent, and I was like, I'm gone, whatever, and I told her why, and she was like, oh my God, actually, I had no clue. So, it was mad, bruv, it was mad. But, like, the worst thing was, it was my family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was like, it proper started to affect my family, my kids, my mum. You know what I mean? And everyone was worried, bro. Because, I mean, like, alcoholism likes to get you on your own. It likes you to isolate yourself, because that way it can get you. You know what I mean? And the road I was going down, I might not be here today.
Yeah,
the way I was drinking, do you know what I mean? So, I mean, I just praise the Lord, man, that I saw the light at some point and I was able to make that change. And one day at a time, I mean, I deal with every day on a daily basis when it comes to the drink. Like, I have no impulse to drink. I can be around, I can be in a club, I can be around alcohol and people that drink or whatever, and just have no feeling or no care about it. But there was a day when that just couldn't happen. If I was in my house, I'm isolating. Blinds down, door shut, it's just me and the bottle. You know what I mean? Just like, that was it. And interactions with human beings, family or anyone, was non-existent for me. So first and foremost, I thank all the people that were around me at that time that are still riding with me now, because they could have easily walked away from me. My wife, you know what I mean? Kids, my mum, loads of people. Because I was not a nice person to be around, bro.
You've been part of one of the biggest clashes in, yo, bro. Nah, they're not understanding what's going on. Oh, what, the clash?
Man brought up the clash.
You know I love talking about that clash, man.
I know.
So go ahead, Dizzee, if you want to act tough. Forget my dick.
I knew the lyrics were coming, you know.
Catch you in the club in the front, in the black truck, tinted. Fools know that AD's minted. What?
I love that. I love that. I love that. Your memory is
Come
cold.
on,
It's
bro. Growing up, listening to that clash with you and Dizzee Rascal was like super iconic to me. Like the tension in the room, like just like the rawness of like everything to do with that clash was so sick. And you know what I really like about that clash? That you and Dizzee Rascal never fell off and you're both still millionaires now. Like, I don't think that everyone in the world is meant to get on. I'm pretty sure you lot's relationships cool now when you see each other because there's not.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
no
no,
whatever.
me and Dizzee are cool, man. Like, I don't see him, if I'm honest with you, because I don't think he's not really outside like that. But
No, you and Dizzee Rascal are never going to see each other.
yeah.
Unless
I don't
it's
think,
planned.
Yeah. I don't think we will.
Yeah. He's probably chatting to his postman over there.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
over there chatting to your postman.
Yeah.
But let's take it back then. Obviously, you said something in a magazine that Dizzee didn't really take to. You couldn't believe he had an attitude about it. You said in the thing. You said, nah, I'll tell you how it feels about that. You phoned my phone 2 times. That's a man that cares about this. You know, see what's going on. Yeah, I'm from East London, yeah. You said, yo, these East niggas think they sound like 50. How? Your style smelly. Ain't nobody here, Nelly, nigga. The nigga man's in the background going,
Oh, God. Oh, my God, Jesus.
yo!
Oh, man. Yeah.
I don't know what's going on, man.
Those were good times, though. Those were good times, man.
Yeah, bro. And, bro, that's one of my favorite clashes in UK history because you both came prepared.
Yeah.
Prepared. You know what I'm saying?
That was good times, man. Big up Dizzee, man. Big up
Yeah,
Dizzee.
no,
That was good
definitely
times.
big up Dizzee Rascal.
And I'm glad. I'm so... Like, I feel happy when I just see him still winning. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I love that, bro. I love that. And you're right. It's like, what's meant to be will be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not... This is not meant for everybody. That's the reality of it. Like, there'll be thousands, hundreds of thousands of us, millions of us trying to do the same thing. And out of many, only a few really cut through. His time is cemented. That time that he had is cemented in the culture and history and... You know what I mean? And all the stuff that he's doing now, I just wish him well, man. I wish him well, bro. But I was so young then, bro. So young, like...
Fools know that AD's men stay centered up in Burberry Cologne. Next year I might Burberry my home. I'm in another chrome till you put the chrome to you. I went to jail, but I didn't give my throne to you. You and Kano obviously presented us, the black British public, with Top Boy. You know, there was a lot of great actors in it, but we wouldn't have cared as much if you and Kano wasn't in it. I think that was a match made in heaven in terms of like a partnership.
Yeah.
How was it like working with someone like Kano, and what was the relationship like before?
I knew Rich before I knew Kane. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Rich is his manager. I knew Rich before. Rich was managing Heartless Crew when we were having our beef with Heartless Crew back then. So I used to see Rich all the time. And even though that other stuff was going on in the forefront, he would always check for me. You know what I mean? And he still does. He's such a good guy, man. But so there was that kind of relationship already existed. And then Top Boy, I was the first one to be signed onto it. So I was the first cast member. And then when we were looking for the Sullys, I was doing all the chemistry reads. So chemistry read, for the people that don't know, is where they just bring in different people to sit next to me and do lines and whatever to see who works best with me. And Kane came in one day, and it was just a no-brainer. Like, this guy, because I actually, to be fair, I weren't expecting him to be as good as he was. Because I was like, remember, I went from acting to music. So I always understood the kind of vulnerability needed to be an actor. Like, most rappers don't want to dumb down their persona on screen. So they don't want to be the guy getting shot or slapped or buoyed off, do you know what I mean, or whatever, because it's like, nah, I've got a persona to keep up or whatever. But Kane came in and he was just an actor, man. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And he started improvising. Like, dashed the script away. Started doing, actually, he draped me up. he must have pushed me up against the wall and that started dragging me up for one scene that we was doing. And
that must have been personal. They said East niggas sound like
yeah, it might have been. And yeah, so, and he walked out the room, and me and the director and Des Hamilton, the casting director, was like, it has to be him. Has to be him. It was a no-brainer, and I'm so glad we made that decision, because, I mean, listen, he's a phenomenal artist. He's a phenomenal rapper, right? Musician. But I think he's an absolutely great actor as well. Do you know what I mean? He took it to another level, and I think his performances in that show are flawless, and the dedication that he gave to that part, to that role, was next level. And actually, I was learning stuff from him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's so weird how life works, actually, because when you was my favorite rapper, when you stopped being my favorite rapper, it was because Kano became my favorite rapper. And then now he's doing it again. He's trying to be my favorite actor.
Yeah, he took the spot.
Yeah.
He took the spot. Yeah, he's cold, man. He's cold, and he deserves everything that comes his way.
Yeah.
He's a very, the stuff that I learned from him was more powerful than about acting or about music or whatever. It was just about attitude. It was about how, like, he's very meticulous about everything that he does. A lot of thought, a lot of research, and a lot of time is spent on him doing everything that he does. You know what I mean? You can see with his body of work when it comes to his music, it's the same way he dealt with Top Boy and his acting. Do you know what I mean? He's just like that and maintains it throughout the time. If anything, I'm the one on set that is like in between takes busting jokes and, you know what I mean, talking and whatever. But, Kane's got a very, like, he's just very calm and very collected about everything that he does. And everyone's got a different method. That's how acting works, isn't it? But, everyone's trying to get to the same place, and you all get there in different ways. But yeah, I've always rated his thing.
Every good thing has to come to an end, because it's difficult to keep good things going in terms of, like, especially when you're building a beast like Top Boy. I get the impression that with the last series, it was time to call it a day in terms of correct me if I'm wrong, but it just seemed like, I love the last series, I love all the series, but I'm saying it just felt like, yeah, we've had enough now, because you got killed and Sully got killed. Like, you left no room for the reunion. I want to ask about that. Why did we not leave any room for the reunion?
In a nutshell,
yeah,
I didn't want to go back. Right. And I mean, it was twofold. It was like the plan for me, and maybe I didn't express it to everyone that was involved, but the plan for me was Deshane should always die. I do not want to make a show like this, having man running around, killing people, never going to jail, do you know what I mean, shotting all these drugs, doing all the madness they're doing, and there's no consequences for them. There was talk about him moving to Spain, changing his name and opening a hotel and whatever, and I was just like, nah, like, we're not going to have that story of the Costa del Sol sort of armed robbers making their millions and then moving over there and can't be extradited. Like, it's not going to be that. I wanted people to see, especially the youngers, that if they were taking the show in, that
there's consequences.
There's consequences to all this. This is where you're more likely to end up. If you do become Top Boy, there's a lot of pressure that comes with that. So that's how I wanted to do it, and Kane kind of agreed as well, do you know what I mean? And then there was the fact that we just, like, bro, I was doing it from 28 years old, I think, is when I first did the first Top Boy. I'm 42 now. I'm not a boy anymore. You know what I mean? Like, it was time to...
I don't really think you've ever had a chance to be a boy.
Well, yeah, probably.
You've been successful since like 17 or something.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's been tough to kind of be a kid. I mean, I've had to be responsible, and I've had, I had my first kid 17 going on 18, so... But yeah, it was just time, man. It was time to do different things. The minute that you're walking down the street and everyone's just calling you Deshane and no longer using your name, I felt like Adam Woodyard. It's Ian Bill. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah, he's not Adam.
Yeah.
Still.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm like, before Top Boy, that was never it for me. It was always Ashley Waters because I was moving, doing different things and whatever. So I just wanted to break that cycle. And then you have to leave things on a high, bro. Like, I know people want to rinse IP and rinse things till the wheels fall off, but I don't think that's the right thing to do, not with everything. Like, it was getting to that point where I think the writers might have been struggling a bit for storylines and, you know what I mean, where are we gonna take this or whatever. And I just felt like, yeah, you know what, the next season after might not be as good. And the minute it's not licking number one on Netflix and the biggest thing on the platform, it's not a good look. Good business people will know when to step away from something. But yeah, man, it was good times. Listen, I love that show. I love what it gave me. I love the people that I worked with. You know, big up Jasmine, like my little sister, like just all the people that came around, that Michael Ward, like all the people that came around it and all the people that...
Little Sims,
yeah.
Look, was wifed up, you know, if you remember.
Yeah. It's so mad as well, you know, because, like, that's Little Sims.
Yeah.
Simbi, man, like, she's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But she's proper as well, man. She really gave it her all. She's working as well at the moment. She's
killing
doing
it. Icon.
She's Icon, killing the music. I think she's just done a film as well. Like, she's out there, and, you know, big up Kane, went on, did The Kitchen, and he's got other stuff coming. And Michael, obviously, we know his story. That was, like, amazing. Jasmine's killing it in the new Guy Ritchie thing at the moment. Like, all these people came in, fed off it, and went and did amazing things. And that, for me, is the beauty of what the show was all about. Like, starting careers and giving people platforms to go on and change their lives around and do what they are meant to be doing, you know, using their God-given talent.
No, for sure. There's only one thing I never liked about Top Boy, just one thing. I just never, you know, you lot are making all this money and that, yeah?
You didn't spend it.
But you lot ain't got no vices.
Yeah.
You lot ain't got no vices. You lot ain't going to the clubs. No one's buying a Lambo.
Yeah.
Like, that was the only thing. Like, sometimes I want to see the money. Do you get what I'm saying? Everybody's sad. Like, Sully's not dressing up. Like, what is he shot? You know Sully, yeah? Like, what was Sully ever shotting for? He wants to live on a boat. Where's the yard? At least you had the little flat. He was dashing my man's head in the kitchen.
That was a result of that. That apartment was a result of me saying, like, come on now.
like,
man can't be living with his mum still.
Come on, bro. Let's do something with the money. You know what I'm saying? But great show, iconic, legendary, and I'm so glad you lot brought it to us. Speaking of iconic and legendary, obviously, you know, we had the Rated Awards. We wanted to give So Solid the Legacy Award. Because how can you have a show with a Legacy Award and not credit So Solid for this? And I remember around the time, we was kind of couldn't do it because it was difficult to get everybody there.
But I've stopped doing your journalistic thing and just get to what you want to say.
This is the role I'm being paid to do. I'm paying myself.
Get to the point, my boy.
Like, how come situations like that happen?
Yeah, in reality, there's some animosity there, isn't it?
Okay.
You know, not everyone is as close as they were back in the day. I'm not talking about just me with them. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I think there's fractions throughout. But that's not for me to speak on. You know, everyone's got their own story. I had to distance myself for my own reasons, and that was more about me. Finding myself, following my own path, and you know what I mean, not being tied down to something. I think because I did that, I think a lot of people see me as a, you know, like I just disdemand them. Do you know what I mean? Or whatever. But I don't know. I don't know whether people understand. Sometimes, like, you have to change your circle in order for you to grow. You know, and it just got to the point where I felt that was the best way for me to do it. Now, I have contrary to some people's beliefs, I have no animosity towards So Solid or any of the members. Like, I love them, like they're my brothers. And without that moment in my life, without Mega blessing me with the mic the way he did, I would never be in this position I am now. Do you know what I mean? It was the start of a lot for me. But at the same time, sometimes you got to make those hard decisions, and if my values and my where I want to be doesn't align with what everyone else wants to do, then unfortunately I've got to step away from it. And I think there's other people that felt like that maybe in the crew, you know.
I think a lot of people misconstrue that just because you started somewhere means that it should define you. Because, in my opinion, being a part of So Solid, in my opinion, actually is only a very small time in your life. When you're talking about your whole career, that might have been 4 or 5 years of your life. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Maybe. I'm just guessing.
Yeah. I mean, it was probably less than that, if I'm honest with you.
I know, but to the outside person who doesn't really pay as much attention as me, they might think, oh yeah, like, you get what I'm trying to say? And they don't even know that so many accolades and so many things and so many achievements have been made over a longer span of years, you know what I mean? And sometimes as well, like, not talking about your specific situation, but just because you went to school with somebody and you've known them for a long time doesn't mean that in 2025 they're necessarily your brethren now, because people change, people grow, people fail to grow. Like, do you get what I'm trying to say?
Listen, you can always have love
Yeah.
for someone, you know what I mean, that you've had like a really intense kind of period of time with, but if you're not on what I'm on, then it's cool. Like, you can do your thing and I'll do mine and we can still be cool. Like, I'm never going to tell you you're doing what you're doing you shouldn't be doing or whatever, and I don't think you should be telling me or whatever. Like, we do what we're doing, but you know, the love is still there.
Do you know what's so crazy? Obviously, I'm not saying it's as deep as this, because it definitely isn't, but you know how, like, lyrics imitate real life? Mega, are you a friend or an enemy? Execution is a tendency in my vocabulary.
Bro,
you feel it?
Stop it. You're trying to do that.
I said, stick to reality. You bet you book it, Mega. See? That is insane.
Yo, man. And we're finally going to talk about some new stuff.
Oh, of course we are. We're talking about the #1 show on Netflix right now, Adolescence. I mean, it's been massively successful in a very, very short space of time. I believe it's #1 globally.
Yeah.
I think the difference between #1 and #2 is vast in terms of viewership.
Yeah,
You've
man.
done it again, man.
Yeah, bro.
You know, the kids would say, you know what the kids are saying right now? You done your big one. That's what they say. You heard that one?
Nah.
You've done your... Oh, come on.
Is that the new?
You've done your big one. That's how they're talking. So, yeah, bro, like, tell me a little bit about it. Obviously, the show is about a kid who's been accused of a crime.
Yeah, show's about a young kid, Jamie Miller, has been accused of stabbing a young girl to death. And it starts with me and my police partner. We're both detectives kicking in the door with a team to arrest him. And then it just follows the process of his arrest, going back to the prison. Like, talking about it is tough because, you know, it's about that, but it was all shot in one take. I think that's the main thing to get out there. Like, it was all shot in one take. And when I say one take, I mean one take. There's no edits or cuts or anything, or, you know, two takes put together or any of that in this. It's like one take. And the process was hard, man. It's shot by Philip Barantini, and Matt Lewis was the director of photography, and they're geniuses, man. They've been doing this for a minute. So I don't know if people saw Boiling Point that Stephen Graham starred in, that came out a few years back. It was a film that was shot in one take, set in a kitchen of a really posh restaurant. But off the back of that, they asked him, can we do a TV show like that? And then Stephen Graham and Jack Thorne, who's the writer, came up with the idea for this. And it's like, it's just showing the different aspects of this arrest and how it affects everyone around it. So it's like the police trying to get to the bottom of why this kid has done what they think he's done. Because my character, my son goes to the same school that this young girl who's been murdered and the accused go to. So then it hits home to me, to my character, that like, hold on, that could have been my kid, because this young kid comes from a good home. You know what I mean? His parents are decent people. They're working class, but they're working. You know what I mean? They're loving. You know, he's not having trauma at home and none of that stuff. All the things you would expect as to why someone would go out and do something like that doesn't exist. And you know, they delve into it deeper and find out that it's because of the online world that he's going into, and the kind of rabbit holes he's going down online that have kind of indoctrinated him to feel the way he does about women. Toxic masculinity, all of that stuff. So he's dealing with all of that stuff, and you know, episode 1 and 2 is kind of trying to find answers which we don't find, and then episode 3 is like with Erin Doherty and Owen Cooper, who's playing the kid, who's amazing by the way, in therapy whilst he's awaiting sentencing. And the therapist trying to find some light in this young kid to be able to go back to the judge and go, all right, this is why, do you know what I mean, to help him with sentencing and stuff. And then the last episode, just the effects that it's having on the family, Stephen Graham, Christine Tremarco, you know, and just kind of following their world. And it's just a deep show, bro. Like, I've seen it maybe 4 times. And at the end, bro, I ain't gonna lie, I'm crying, man. Like, every time. It's just such a powerful show. And being a dad, it's made me change a lot of the stuff that's happening in my house with my kids. Like, when it comes to iPads, devices, and phones and stuff like that. It's like, it really makes you wake up, man. It really makes you wake up. We've got all, you know, technology has advanced so much in the last 10, 20 years. Like, I don't think people understand. Like, the leap has been crazy as to what we can achieve and what we can do with technology. But with that comes cons. You know, there's pros and cons to everything. There's a lot of cons with this, and I think, you know, basic human things like talking, like we're talking now, hardly exist anymore.
Yeah, they're being compromised.
Yeah, and that's not good for human beings. I'll say this to people. You remember when remember lockdown?
Yeah.
And we were to stay inside. You know, the weather changed. It was hotter.
Yeah.
That was because the damage that we do as humans,
yeah,
to the sky and to the ozone. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, a lot of things changed naturally. Nature took back control of shit and started doing things to the world. And I think when you take away human connection, it changes people. Like, my 8-year-old, he animates, and I'm proper pushing him in doing that. Like, he's an animator. He has the equipment and stuff like that. So he's on his iPad a lot and it's animating little shorts and clips and stuff like that. And I want to encourage him. But I've realised, like, the amount of time he spends doing it, when it's time to come off and I'm like, so how was your day? My man's like, yeah, you know what I mean? He can't talk. You got to talk to him through devices. You know, my daughter will be upstairs and would prefer to text me than come downstairs and sit in the kitchen. So it's like, we have to implement Sunday dinner, sitting around the table, devices get locked in the safe, everyone has to sit and talk and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? In order to get ourselves back closer to it. So yeah, like, I'm going around the houses, but the show is not talking about that specifically, but is about, like, showing the state of where we are and how far we've gone away from the normalities, like the little things that we take for granted, like just speaking about your problems and stuff like that to your family, to your friends or whatever. Those things are gone, and this is why some of that stuff is happening on the streets. We all know knife crime is prevalent at the moment in London. I mean, it always has been, but they're talking about it a lot, and I think it's a problem across the globe. Which is why the show has been such a global hit. Like, when you were saying I think it's, what is it? Robert De Niro's show, I think, is second. And it's on like 9 million views compared to 24, 25 million for Adolescence. This is a show specifically set in, like, outside, just a little town outside Leeds. So local, that has become so global. The only way that it was able to become so global is that the theme is something that is global. Every parent is worrying about their kids losing their sense because of what they're watching online.
And what I love about the success of the show is how impactful it's been. Sometimes shows can be massive, but massive for the wrong reasons, or people are trying to achieve something they haven't actually been able to achieve. You know, my best friend watched this show last week. I work with him, and he said, yo, you have to watch this. This is incredible. Yeah. People have literally been walking up to you because of how impactful this show has been. And I just want to congratulate you on being a part of it, and the success of the show. You've obviously done it again, and it's good to see.
Yeah, bro. Thank you very much, man. It's been amazing, man. It's exceeded all my expectations, and I've had some great energy around some of the stuff I've done, including Top Boy. But I've never felt energy like this around anything.
Yeah, no,
I've
this
done.
feels
this
different.
Is different. This is just so different, man. So I'm basking in it. You know what I mean? Big shout out to Stephen Graham as well, because obviously he's one of the guys that I've always looked up to in the game. I've had the pleasure of working with him.
A lot of black UK actors really respect him. I've seen him being
you know
adored.
what? He's kind of like us in the sense that he comes from the slums, bruv. and he has this attitude of like, he will never change. Do you know what I mean? Like, the success is real in the, when it comes to what he's doing and how he's done it. Remember, he created, co-wrote the show. He's executive producer. Same in 1,000 Blows, Boiling Point as well. Like, he's, you know, his business game is next level. But the stuff he does and why he does it, when you speak to him, it's all about creating opportunities for new people. Do you know what I mean? It's always about, he's always trying to bring new people through. Like, I mean, my directing career has just started. He was the first one to champion me for 1,000 Blows. He was like, "Nah, you gotta come and do this Disney show." That was #1 on Disney. I directed 3 episodes on that, starring Stephen Graham, Malachi Kirby, and Erin, who's in Adolescence as well.
You're on a run right now.
Yeah, so we've been killing it, bro. We've been killing it slightly, but let's just see where it goes from here, bro. You know, and everything that happens now is a bonus. I got an amazing wife, amazing kids, amazing family, the home I want to live in. Do you know what I mean? Bit of money in my pocket that I can do the things I need to do. Anything else that happens, by the grace of God, like, you know, is a bonus for me, man. But this, I'd happily end with this.
In the roller, that's what I call thoughts in a Culli. Okay.